to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Hello, everybody. Let's get Philip on here if we can find him where he's at. There he is.
Hey, welcome, folks. Welcome to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk.
Yeah, so you better do your thing. It's been a while.
Do our thing. I don't know if I remember that, Jeff.
Well, you'll have to
I'll give it my best shot. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here on Treasure Talk by the guest and member belong solely to the guest and member, not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Monin. Woo! And of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of treasure hunting, metal detecting, and treasure hunting in all forms, and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And we're going to do just that tonight.
We're going to try. We're going to try. At the top of the news chain, everybody's probably heard that Garrett, just all of a sudden, after what we figured out, it was 16 years or something like that, Phil?
Yeah, it's been a while.
KG and Wingy represented them and represented them well and actually really made them. If you so, he just all of a sudden just dumped them.
Yeah.
With no rhyme, reason, just called them up and says, you're gone.
You know,
so, that's unfortunate.
It is, but because those guys, and I had been to many events they were at, they were excellent ambassadors to our hobby, and I'm sure Garrett will miss them for sure. They don't realize that, but they were ambassadors. Their TV show, we looked it up, was like 2013 to 2015, and the Diggers TV show. And, you know, they had quite the following, and I sold quite a few AT Pros because that was kind of the only game at that time, AT Pro and AT Gold, for a waterproof multi-purpose detector. And sold quite a few because of those two guys. And because being on the TV, it just got people pumped about being in this hobby. And it just, and of course it's on reruns, and they have them on YouTube and whatnot, so you can still check them out on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, Garrett don't realize how much they're going to. I think their detector division, from what I understand, they just want to concentrate on their airport metal detectors and stuff like that.
Yeah, security stuff probably.
That's the direction they need to go because their hobby metal detectors are not that great. So,
yeah, they're you know, everybody else is in second and third generation of multi-frequency. You know, you've got Naka Mind Lab and Deus just tearing it up, and you know they're playing catch up is what they're playing right now because they're playing catch up. So hopefully KG Ring, I'm sure they'll find employment doing something. I know that.
Yep, and our hope would be what we think, and it don't make any difference what we think, but we think probably the best fit for them would be with Nocta.
Yeah, probably, yes.
And that'd be a good fit for them because, anyways. So what we're going to talk about tonight, this is kind of a spring into spring. I know up north you're having a little more touch of winter weather, but overall it's you're able to get out and do some digging. So we're going to have kind of a how-to tonight and discuss etiquette, which is kind of a touchy subject, but it's something that needs to be addressed. We've got some great people lined up. We're going to have Fred Banky, who is now in Belgium. He's coming to us from Belgium tonight. He did an exciting video from England for us. He's going to be with us along with Terry Shannon, who is going to talk about beach etiquette from the Treasure Coast, his experiences on the Treasure Coast, and he digs dirt as well. And then a little later, we're going to have Big Billy Keene and Ricky T They're personal friends of mine that we do a lot of water hunting, and there's certain etiquette that's involved in water hunting, and we're going to pretty much tell it like it is. If it steps on your toes, guess what? Pull your foot back and get your act together.
There you go.
We're going to talk about it because it needs to be said, because basically it's going to be for your own good. You know, what you're going to find, all this etiquette stuff, it applies both in field hunting, beach, dry sand, wet sand, and in the water. It all applies the same. If you don't use good beach etiquette and you're hunting with a bunch of your buddies, pretty soon you're going to be hunting by yourself, because they're not going to want to hunt with you if you don't have good beach etiquette and you do pull some of the things that we're going to talk about. So, anyways, you know what, Phil? I don't know. We got anything to do any kind of a giveaway tonight?
We'll do a swag pack tonight, and I promise I'll get it out. It won't be delayed like the other one was. So we did two, and one went out and one didn't, but it's on its way.
And I'll bet you
yes.
that I can talk to Terry and Fred, and they may give away a book.
Yes, and Jocelyn, trust me, I got my green spring shirt on, so
that's good. That's good.
We're ready to go roll here, and we've got specials in the shop, and we'll talk about them as we're going.
Well, let's talk about let's go with the, you know, what I think is the hottest detector going right now is the Legend 2.
Yes, and the Legend 2, we're doing a deal on it. I hope that Mark or Naka is listening, and we're going to take $100 off of it. Or if you don't want that, we're going to throw in a free set of waterproof headphones. So if you just want the stock, if you just want the detector and the waterproof headphones, it's $9.99. Or if you don't want the waterproof headphones, it'll be $8.99. We'll do that tonight. Just holler at me by Saturday so Joe can get it shipped out for you.
That's right.
That's a steal of a deal on a detector, and I've seen a lot of reviews on it and watched a lot of videos on it so far, and it sounds really good for the money. So we're going to do that. And then, of course, we've got the titanium scoops. I'm holding the one here. Oh, Trip says yes. The Manicore is still good. So
yeah, he says Balderdash is still the boss. Well, I would have to take
it's the
task
beast.
on that.
It's the beast, Jeff. It's not the boss.
Anyway, he thinks it's the boss, but
yes,
that's all right. He's got one, so he thinks it's the boss.
Yes,
that's
and
okay.
If you learn your detector, you're all good. But I was holding up the travel handle because I've sold quite a few of these to people who are going on the cruises, and they want a nice handle they can take apart real quick, and that's an easy way to do that. But do put some grease on that end there. Don't leave it like that forever in salt water. It will turn into a one piece.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And that is even if you don't want a travel handle and you just need the a good scoop, the Treasure Talk Pro Sifter Titanium is the one you want. And with the Myers Pro handle, I'm going to tell you that Myers Pro handle, Anderson shafts really set the benchmark for carbon fiber scoop handles. But unfortunately, Anderson is no longer in business.
Right.
So our good friend Steve from Steve Detector Rods, he makes great handles. He's making them for Phil, the Myers Pro handle, and Phil's got all the sizes for any of the scoops that you want. Not just the Treasure Talk Pro Sifter Titanium. So you need to call Phil for your scoop handles. He's got.
I was going to say, Jeff, we have them for the T-Rex, we have them for the Stealth, and we have them for, of course, the CKG products, and we even have some for the Cube scoops, because some people have that one and their handles break pretty easy, so we have replacement handles for that. So yeah, we got a lot of different items here, of course, and we can get you set up for sure.
Well, you even got them for, not only that, but you got them for that, what's the one with the, has the shovels with the holes in the handle?
Oh, yes, absolutely, for Motley. Yes, we have
For
them for
Motley, that's true. And then also for the um, can't think of it now.
T-Rex,
The other one, not the Stealth, uh,
Extreme.
Extreme Scoop. Yeah,
Yeah, if it's a stainless Extreme, I do have that for
yeah.
sure. And I was just reading somebody on here said that they love their. I think his name was Jim, and it went by so quick.
Rob Payne.
Oh, he loves his titanium with the travel handle, and also where was the other one at? Was the Elite? I think it was Jim says Elite does good over there on the East Coast. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good detector for sure.
Yeah,
So
they,
let me do a little informational shout out for the West State Archaeological Society. Their meeting is April 21st here in Tampa. If you want to join a metal detecting club meeting in the Tampa side, that's a good club. And then, of course, the Suncoast Research and Recovery Club is over in Largo at Quaker Steak and Lube, and that is on April 27th. So, got those in real quick, Jeff.
yes, it does. We better quit
Gavin,
running our chops.
and get on with our guests.
Yeah, because we're going to bring on Fred Banky, and he's with us from Belgium, and we're going to run one of his videos. And we're bringing on Terry Shannon, whom everybody knows is a goat, and he's going to talk to us about and very, very plain talk. I mean, we're going to tell it like it is on beach etiquette. And some of the consequences if you don't learn good beach etiquette or good field etiquette, like I said before, for those of you that are late, what we're going to talk about tonight is hunting etiquette, and where you may have some people you enjoy hunting with now. If you don't show good etiquette, pretty soon you'll be hunting by yourself because they just don't want it. They're not going to be interested in hunting with you anymore. And we're going to tell some stories, and if it steps on your toes, well, get bigger shoes, whatever. So anyway, let's bring on Fred. Fred's put up, please do not disturb. Well, we're bringing him on anyway. There's Fred, and here's Terry. Hey guys.
Welcome, guys.
Hey, I'm going to put you on the spot. You guys are each good for a book for a giveaway, are you?
Oh yeah, yep, no problem.
Okay, figured it. So we're going to talk about beach etiquette and field hunting etiquette. So let's start with, let's just start with beach right now, Terry. Now, I lost the pictures you sent, but I want you to talk about beach hunting etiquette as you know it, because you are a goat and you hunt the beaches a lot, and you see a lot of people with no etiquette. So give us a rundown on good beach etiquette.
Okay, I think the biggest thing is to fill your holes. I'll come right out and say it. If you don't fill your holes, I'm not detecting with it. I realize that there's young kids out there digging all kinds of holes in the sand, but they're kids. We have to set an image, positive image. And because of a few, we've lost a lot of places where we can't detect, because they left the holes and they left the garbage, and if you dig something up, take it with you. Don't throw it down again, that sort of thing. It's just common sense, and I know it's important. I was one time filling in a hole. It was a deep hole that I dug, and it was a little bit of effort to fill it in. And this guy come running out, and he said, "Can I shake your hand?" And I looked at him, and I said, "Well, certainly." And I put my hand up, but I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you filled your holes." And this guy was not a metal detector; it was a civilian watching me out there detect. So I don't think he's the only one that felt that way. It's really important to, leave the beach better than you found it.
Yes, definitely. Let's talk a little bit, Terry, about if you're hunting with, let's say you got two of your buddies with you, and you're hunting along from the water on up on the Treasure Coast. Okay, and you're kind of going down side by side. Tell a little bit of etiquette about that. because this happens an awful lot, and I've seen it, and I've had it happen.
I've had it
And
happen
it's
many
not
times.
good.
They'll actually speed up to try to get ahead of you, and it just, especially if you're finding stuff. And, it just, whatever we find, even if we find a gold ring or something, it's not that important to lose a friend over. And that will really happen. I've had people that I just don't care to detect with anymore because of things like that.
Yeah.
And I used to,
You listening, Fred?
well, I used to send out an email list, and I'd find something, and I'm so proud, my chest is out a little farther in my stomach, and I'd send out an email, people, where'd you find it? And like a dummy, I'd tell them. And that one time I found a couple of rings, things were really slow. And one of the fellows called me up, said, where'd you find it? I told him, I got up early the next day at 8 o'clock, which is early for me, and they were just leaving. They'd got there before me, and so it's that's just not right. I mean, be a gentleman about it. I've gone out and, for example, I had one time where we had a big cut, and I got there, and there was a couple right where I wanted to be. And I walked down and introduced myself, and I said, "Is it okay if I detect behind you, on this cut?" And it worked out really well because the guy, they each had bounty hunters, and they come up and they said, "We've been watching your dig," and they're heading to Walmart to take the bounty hunters back. So, I'm losing my train of thought here, though. But the beaches have a wonderful thing happened to me today on the beach. I seen the crew that bring in all the pipes and all that kind of garbage out there, just ruining our beaches. They were taking the equipment off the beach today. Apparently, they're done right in front of our place here. But they drove by me with a couple, payloaders with these big pipes in it, and another cabin and all that sort of stuff. It's just terrible what they've done. And I actually have had a pretty good couple days of detecting. I got another ring yesterday and that. And, I was looking at the beaches, and I went up yesterday. I hit about 5 beaches. I just stopped, run out and take a look at it. And I went up and I found one that had a steep bank going down to the water. And that's where I went, I've always preached, follow the waves out. Well, with all this new sand on that, you're better off staying up high, staying up high where with the sand washing in the way it's washing in, anything lost out there gets covered in an hour or so. But if there's a steep bank going down, you've kind of it'll come up to that bank and lay right in that trough there. And, I've had some pretty good days, a lot of sinkers. I dug about 20 sinkers the other day, and I got, I think, 6 or 7 today.
So we got a question for you, Terry. It's from Jim Hamovic, whom you know. He says, Terry, what's the best way to approach a person who cuts in front of you all the time? I've had runners like this.
That's a tough question. You don't want to get into a fight out there or anything like that. It isn't really worth it. But I think that I would mention that I was kind of offended by it. And if he didn't like it, screw him. I guess it depended on, the individual and how he did it and stuff like that. Some people just don't know, that they're newest to the hobby and maybe going up and being real Nate and say, this was kind of, just try to educate them a little bit, but be good about it. Wish them luck, that kind of stuff. And let them know that they're wrong. They're doing something wrong.
And then some people say, oh, well, I didn't realize I was doing it. And they do it. And they do it on purpose.
I know that. One of the things, too, and I was thinking about this today, and this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I'd like to bring it up if it's all right, is the first gold ring I ever found, metal detector in the water. I found it one day, and it's back in Minnesota. And the very next day, I was in a different spot, and I was detecting. And a couple of kids swam out and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm metal detecting." And "What are you looking for?" "I'm looking for rings. Do you ever find, And I said, "Yes, I found a gold ring." Well, I found it the day before in a different lake, but they left. And pretty soon they come back out and said, our mom lost her ring, and we think you have it, and she wants her ring back. And I still hadn't picked up on it. I said, "No, I don't think so." I said, "Have your mom, give her an address, and if I find it, I'll get back to you." As I walked off the beach, there's 3 young fellows, about 15 or maybe 18, 20 years old, said, "You got our mom's ring. We want it." And I just said, I used to be the sheriff there, and I said, I'm the sheriff for going up to my office right now. And I bluffed my way out of it. But my recommendation is when you find something on the beach, if you find something good, stick it in your pocket. Don't show anybody there. You can show them later, but don't show them there. And what I would do, and is get a junk ring or something and carry it in your pocket. So when you find that diamond ring, you stick it in your pocket, and they say, "What did you just find?" You pull out the older one, and because I had a good friend that lost a real good ring, and he's positive that this fellow, scammed him, that type of thing. But I don't think I answered the first question properly about what do you do. I guess I really don't know. I guess it depends on my attitude. If I'm having one of those days, we have words, that type of thing.
Yeah, and also, it's sometimes you just got to say, you know what, it ain't worth it, and go home and wait for another day. Karma will come around and get those people.
I had problems for quite a while of people following me. In fact, I even had a guy put a tracker on my car. And so now, if I find something, from the fleet or something like that, I'm not going to say anything for, 3 or 4 days because it just, because of the people that will do that. And there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I understand. But usually what Phil tells them, I tell them, and so my other hunting buddies tell them, and they say, "What do you find?" And I always say, we're just saving a lot of feet.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm reading some of the comments, and Luis Villarreal says, don't draw attention to yourself when you find jewelry. Just put it in the pocket. Don't even look at it. Keep going. You got.
And he's right. He's right. 100% right. There's no question because people are watching you. They really are. And it's a sad thing, but there's a lot of dishonest people out there. They really are.
There is. Yeah, and I don't mind giving stuff back. I like it, enjoy that, but I don't want to get scammed either. So
here's your biggest fan, Phil.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Trip says, "What would Phil do?" Absolutely. We just heard it. I don't show anything in the beach. I tell people when they find stuff. I don't mind giving stuff back, but I don't show anything at the beach. I might show some bottle caps or some pool tabs, but that's it.
Yeah, I got a quick story for you. My standard reply is that I tell them, I said, if I don't find something pretty soon, my wife's going to wonder where I'm going, and they laugh. They think it's funny, and I'm off the hook, see. And I was in the river last summer, and the river was a 90-degree turn, and as these gals were tubing down, they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm metal detecting." "What are you looking for?" "Jewelry." "What do you find?" And I said, "Well, if I don't find something pretty soon, my wife's going to wonder where I'm going." And as he went by, one of the ladies took off one of her rings and gave it to me. Apparently, I don't wear very good clothes. You must have felt when I'm in the river, felt sorry for me. That poor guy.
Well,
I carried that ring for about 6 months in my pocket until I finally found a young fellow that was detecting, and I dropped it in front of him, so I was able to pass it forward.
There you go.
Well, very good. So, Fred,
you're not looking very tired there. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, I understand.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to go and let us talk to Fred for just a little bit. Terry, you stay with us for a while.
Yeah.
And Fred, you're over there you were in England, and now you're in Belgium, as I understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why don't you kind of preface the video you did for us, which I think is a very good video, and then I will run it.
The main thing is if you're gonna detect in somebody's yard and they've got a nice lawn, you want to get invited back. So you want to fill that hole, and if you can, make it look like you've never even been there. And so I just shot a video. I was in my cousin's field. I had some help from his girlfriend. She was running the camera, and I was just digging and detecting there, and I was excuse me, I was finding musket balls there. But the main thing is make it look like you've never even been there if you can. And my cousin's got an airfield. He didn't want me to detect on his airstrip, but I had the whole field to myself there detecting. And
Well,
and
the
I would,
same thing kind of goes in a field, doesn't it, Fred? I mean, you want to leave the field. If you're in a farmer's field, you don't want to leave a bunch of big holes, especially, you know, a lot of times they'll let you detect even if their crops are planted, but they just don't want a bunch of, you know, especially if they got livestock.
if they tell you that they're going to plow the field afterwards, it's okay. Don't fill. I even fill my holes, even if they tell me that. They're going to plow or disc, harrow, whatever their fields. But yeah, the big thing is livestock. They have enough problems up in the Dakotas where we metal detect with gophers and prairie dogs and stuff like that up there, and they'll break a calf, cow, horse's ankle
Yeah.
just
Well,
stepping in
it's good
those.
practice, isn't it, Fred? Regardless, is to, you know, to leave it like you found it. Don't leave
It,
trash laying on the ground.
it's
You know,
just
that's
like at the beach,
yeah,
and
that's always been one thing of Phil's real pet peeves is you see somewhere somebody they might have filled their hole, but they just left the trash laying right on top of the
Right on
ground.
top of the ground. Ooh, yes.
You
Yeah, I always
know?
tell them, pick it up, take it with you, because that way you don't dig it the next day.
Well, you know, we have found, and Phil has found it when we've been hunting together. You'll be on the beach, and you'll dig up a dang bottle, a bottleneck that's broke, or beer cans that are buried in the sand, and you
Yeah.
know they sat right there because there's 4 or 5 of them. They just bury them,
and
and
then
instead of walking 20 feet to the garbage can.
if you're digging in a field, you're gonna, you know, if you dig up a piece of iron, take the time and walk it to the edge of the field and get rid of it at the edge of the field. Either
Yep.
put it in a pile or and pick it up later, or leave it right at the edge by the fence. That way, the farmer won't be running over it with his tractor, maybe puncturing his tire or
Yeah.
screwing up some of his equipment.
That's how you get asked back, isn't it, Fred?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And then while we're on that subject, the digging of holes, this video, I'm going to run the video now. This is a very, very informative video. And for those of you who are just getting in the hobby, and maybe there's a lot of you that have been in the hobby and need a refresher course, this video should hit home. There's ways to dig a hole, and there's ways not to dig a hole. So let's run the video now from Fred Banke.
This is Fred Banke here, and if you're metal detecting somebody's lawn or garden, the only way to really ensure that you get invited back is to leave it exactly the way it was when you arrived. That means no signs of holes or anything. Actually in a field
Just come real close
doing a
behind me
demonstration
so you can
on
see these numbers
the
and
proper
hear
way
this.
of detecting and digging in the turf. And you can see that was a good signal. Now it's time to start the digging, and it's just a matter of going around in a circle, inserting the spade
When are you putting the black thing in?
until you've got a plug to remove. Now when you're removing the plug, what I do is I lay a piece of plastic trash bag, and then I can flip the plug right over. It's still connected to the ground. And then I can use my pinpointer to find if I actually removed the object or if it's still in the hole. Here you see I'm pulling the bottom part out, and I've actually removed the object that was in the bottom of the hole. And here it is. It's another darn musket ball. Seems like every time, everywhere I go,
Okay.
I find musket balls. Dirt and placing it back in the hole. The loose dirt. That loose dirt would have been on the grass if I hadn't had that plastic film there. Now I'm just going to flip over. The plug is still connected and do my. So you do actually have another option, and that option is if it's a very shallow target, you can then turn around and use your pinpointer on the surface. And the pinpointer, if it's really shallow, will pick up that target. Then it's just a matter of taking your cutting tool, your spade, and just cutting around a smaller area and very shallow. And you're going to cut around that whole area then. And then you're just going to take and flip that over and still see that it's still attached. And then you're going to use your pinpointer and look for that very shallow target, and it should not take long to locate that. And if you look at that, you can actually see something at the bottom of that piece of turf there. And yes, it is. It's another musket ball. Then now it's just a case of taking and covering back up that plug. Now it's just a matter of carefully putting the plug back in the hole, folding it over, and pressing that down so nobody will ever know you're there. You're detecting relics. Things you want to check for is, of course, VDI number, non-ferrous, and you want to check your depth to ensure that you're not going too deep or too shallow when you're actually using your spade or using up your. Remember is the angle of your spade relative to the grass surface determines determines the actual depth that you're going. So the steeper the angle, the deeper you're going to go with that hole, and shallower angle, the shallower you're going to go to that hole. This demonstration video was actually produced in Norfolk, England, and the wind was blowing about 25 miles an hour, and the temperature was maybe just a little under 40 degrees, and it was absolutely miserable. But it's a place that I really do want to get invited back, and that's why I did such a good job covering my holes and ensuring the grass was not damaged.
Very good, Fred.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a good video.
Outstanding. Let's see if I got the right one. There we go. Outstanding, Fred. I love that pouch.
Yeah, it's a good pouch.
And we
But-
just had a comment. Somebody said that the coveted Myers towel is on Artemis too, so it may be the case.
A lot of the guys, they use the Myers towel. I like to have the plastic construction bag because the dirt will slide right off of that real easy, and you're not going to make
Right in the
you're
hole, yeah.
not going to make a mess with that.
Yeah.
But as far as etiquette when you're digging next to somebody or close to somebody, something Terry and I do when we're up in North Dakota at the Indian War stuff is if one of us finds a little hot spot for bullets or anything, we'll call the other guy over and we'll both metal detect around that area. I'm in Belgium with a friend of mine there, and he, we both get excited if we find something. He gets excited if he finds something, and he calls me over because he's really good at giving me a history lesson of what we're finding, and we're finding some real treasure over here. And what I do is I just leave my spade in the ground where I'm at. I lean my metal detector against it, and I walk over several yards, however far. It could be, quite a ways across the field to see what he's got. And then I walk back and metal detect around that area. But Terry and I work together, and we do this on the beach. Even if somebody hits a hot spot, we'll call each other over and we'll share that spot and find our stuff there.
That's very good. That's very true. And you kind of hit it right on the head. Both you guys did. Now Terry and Fred are going to be back with us. Our next show will be June 29th. And Phil, do you believe it might be our 250th show?
250th show for the 250th anniversary of our great country.
That is correct. And Terry, and also I wanted to let you know, both of these guys are working on new books.
Nice.
So hopefully we'll have some more updated information by that time. They will be here. We're going to have a lot of good giveaways. Also, we just found out that we're going to cover a little bit on our 250th anniversary of our country and the show. We're going to have the Truckleys from the gold mining camp in North Carolina.
Cool.
Going to give away a 3-day pass to go pan for gold and that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a really good show. But Terry, Fred,
Can I just
guys, dude, yeah,
can I just mention what we found today?
yeah,
So, we've been finding a lot of stuff, and the first day I found my first hammered Roman coin, but today we're metal detecting a battlefield. The battle went on in 1794, and it was between the French and a few other countries. And a lot of people were killed on the battlefield. We found a bunch of musket balls again, but there's also a lot of Celtic and different age stuff there. We found stuff from World War I. We found Celtic rings. Now, Celtic rings came out before the Romans, and they're bronze rings, and it's before the gold staters and stuff like that. So these Celtic rings, they go back 1,000 years BC, and it's just imagine something that old. We're finding coins from all ages, from the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. I found a beautiful Napoleon III coin today, and it's in perfect shape. It's just beautiful.
Nice.
very good. Of course, you never know. And that ring could have been when one of you two dated in your youth. I don't know. Anyways, thanks, guys. And we hope to see you soon. And happy hunting and dig deeper. Fred, I hope you feel better.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, see you guys.
See you guys.
Thanks, pal.
Oh, let me see if I can get this figured out. It's been a long time. But
On the book giveaway with me now, just have them tell you what book they want.
okay,
Yeah.
sure will.
Same with
Same
me.
with you,
Same
Fred.
with me.
Okay, see you guys.
See you.
Okay, so we're
Those
kind
two
of
have some really cool books. So
Yep, they got a lot of them, don't they?
they do. They have a lot of them and got a lot of information in them. You got to get one of those for sure.
Yep, and we're going to let's just go ahead right now. I'm going to bring on our next two guests. They're going to talk about water hunting etiquette. And while they're doing that, I'm going to get the giveaway set up and we'll do a giveaway. And the giveaway will be the Meyer Swag Pack and then a book of the winner's choice from Fred and Terry. So there's going to be one winner tonight, and it's going to be a good one. You're going to get the coveted towel.
Oh, yes.
And you doing T-shirt?
Oh, yeah, it'll be there. Send the T-shirt size.
Now, if the towel is worth it. It's just regardless, the towel is worth it. Isn't that right, Phil?
Oh, it is. And you can use it to put your dirt on it if you're hunting in somebody's yard and you've got to take and have a little plug cut. You could use one of Casey's shovels. We have all these in stock, and or some folks like the lash. We stock those, and you could put the dirt on the towel and then dump it into the hole.
Or you can just display the towel and everybody will know that you're a pro because you've got a coveted yellow towel from Meyer. And they know not to mess with you, right?
Absolutely.
So there's huge advantages, So let's get these other dudes on, okay?
Yes.
Here's Ricky T, and let me find where Billy.
Welcome.
Well, I don't know what happened to Billy.
And Rick, I beat you to inviting everybody to the club.
That's fine. That's awesome. The only thing you didn't know was the Saturday hunt coming up. I'm going to mention that.
Oh, okay. And for folks who don't know, Rick is the president of the West State Archaeological Society, Tampa's Metal Detecting Club. And then, of course, we have one on the other side of the bay, the Suncoast Research and Recovery Club, too.
And
great clubs.
And they're great clubs. And I'm not going to say there's really no competition between us. I mean, there's I have a lot of friends that are, matter of fact, I've got board members on my board through WSAS that are actually members of the other club as well. So there's no animosity between the two clubs.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, this Saturday on the 11th, if you are a WSAS club member, a 2026 paid member in good standing, we're going to have our spring hunt. And it looks like right now that we're going to have it's going to be over 2,000 targets buried for everybody to dig up. And we also have a lot of prizes that are going to be given away. I'm not going to divulge how that's going to be done yet. You got to come to the hunt to find out. But our hunt is going to start hopefully about 10 a.m. and the other club's hunt is going to on the same day in the same park at noontime. So we're hoping we can get our guys in and out of there by noontime, have the hunt done, and then the people that are co-members can go right from our hunt over to their hunt, so they can enjoy both clubs on the same day.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah.
So we can't. I don't know what happened to Billy. He's not here. So
I'm here if you can hear me.
we can hear you, but we need to see you.
Yeah, it's my wife's trying to figure that part out, but yeah, I'm here. I can see you guys.
You and
I had a little
Ricky.
difficulty getting in today too for some reason. I don't know if StreamYard was acting up or what was going on, but it took me about 5 or 6 times of clicking on the link over and over again before it finally hooked up.
It was Phil's fault. I'm just going to blame it on him.
It's my fault. No, it's Joe's fault.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's right. That's right. So I'm going to get the giveaway set up. We're talking water hunting etiquette.
Yes. I got a new shirt too, Phil. Not all those that wander are lost. Some are dirt fishing.
Some are dirt fishing, yes. Oh, that's good. Good.
Oh no.
So
Let's
anyhow,
talk about.
Go back to
I will
StreamYard,
talk to
Steve.
you
just
briefly, and I'm sure Billy
Just took us
will.
offline.
Yeah, I can hear Billy and his wife talking.
Yep.
I'm going to mute their
I
mic.
just did.
You get.
I muted him, Jeff.
Okay, good. So Rick, take it off. Water etiquette hunting.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people don't realize there is etiquette in the water hunting.
100%. And I made a little notes here as I was listening to what Terry said, and I'm going to reiterate some of the things that he said as well. But these are some of my pet peeves as well as things that you guys really shouldn't be doing as water hunters. Don't hunt by other swimmers. Try to stay away. If you are water hunting in the water, you have to respect other people's personal space. So there's oftentimes when we're out and we are hunting and we have chosen a line that we want to hunt. For example, I may get out there and I'm like, I want to be right about armpit deep today. And I'm going to be moving Florida. Of course, the beaches are north-south mostly. So I'm going to move due north and I'm going to stay armpit deep. Well, if I come across a group of people that are swimming in front of you, they've got their little circle, and they're talking about what they're going to do for dinner tonight or where they went last night. Don't get right up on them. Get in shallower water and hustle around them. Or if you can get in deeper water and hustle around them. Oftentimes, of course, I've got headphones on to discourage people from talking to me, mostly. But of course, water hunting, you have to have headphones anyway. But I'll say something as I go by, excuse me, let me get out of your way real quick and just leave it at that. And then I'll hustle around, get around them, get about 10 feet past them. And then I will put the coil back down to the sand and concentrate on what I want to dig up or target. So the next one would be if you're hunting on dry sand, you must bury your holes. I mean, there's no doubt about that. There's no gray area in that. You have to bury your holes. It makes us all look bad if you don't bury your holes as a detectorist. It makes us all look bad. But in shallow water, knee deep to waist deep. If you have dug a substantial hole in that area, and sometimes it happens, and I know you've got the wave action and it's going to bury the hole pretty quickly anyway, I encourage you to do the best you can to scrape some sand back into it and bury that hole as best you can in shallow water. That's where all the kids play, and a 6-inch hole may not seem like a big difference to an adult, but a 6-inch hole to somebody whose lower leg is only 12, 16 inches long to begin with, that's a pretty bad step. And you don't want to hurt kids or be blamed for hurting a kid. Always take your trash with you, whether it's in or out of the water. There's nothing more aggravating to come across a hole that somebody has obviously dug in the past 24, 48 hours, and you get a signal in it and you think, oh, wow, they might have had multiple targets and they didn't recheck their hole. And you get in the bottom of it and you find a freaking pull tab, if Sean's out there. But there's nothing more aggravating than digging up somebody else's trash. Here's another big one for me also. Do not enter the water, if you're water hunting, in front of and close proximity of another water hunter, especially if you don't know that other water hunter. Now, if it's a friend, you can get in and you can get a little deeper, you can get a little shallower, but don't get in front of, if you see a guy and he's out there already and he's armpit deep and dang, that's where I wanted to be today, and he's moving north-south, okay, I might have to move south-north, So don't get in front of another hunter that's already beat you into the water, even if he is in the spot that you had planned to hunt all week. Again, give him plenty of room. If you want to get ahead of him, and by ahead of him, I mean 50 yards down the beach, and then again, stay out of his line. You want to be demonstratively shallower or deeper, then that's probably okay. But don't get right in his line. If he's armpit deep and you want to hit armpit deep, don't get 50 yards ahead of him and get armpit deep. That's just a crass thing to do. Let's see. That goes for dry sanding as well. If you guys that are dry sanders out there and you're not hunting the water, same thing goes for dry sanding. Don't get out into a situation where you walk out on the beach and there's a guy hunting the towel line. Don't get in front of him and work the same towel line. There's plenty of beach to hunt. Don't create animosity like that. It's just not worth your time or effort. If you're in the water or if you're in the dry sand and you must cross the line of another hunter, be courteous. Pick up your coil. I pick up my coil. If I walk in front of, if Billy and I are hunting and we are really good friends. If Billy and I are hunting and he's to my left, and I decide that the shallow area isn't working for me and I want to get deeper and I have to make a left-hand turn and cross in front of him, if for any reason I get a signal in his line, I'm going to point it out to him and keep on going. Hey, Billy, there's a signal right here. When you come up here, there's a signal right here. Do not stop in front of him 10 feet, 15, 20 feet away in his direct line and dig a target. That will get you on the no invite list faster than anything I know of. I had a fellow hunter tell me a story one time. He was hunting out at Fort DeSoto Park, and he was about waist deep water. And of course, the water out there is gin clear. I mean, it's beautiful. And a man and a small boy had walked up on them and was asking him a few questions, and they chit-chatted for a few minutes. Well, the guy walked straight ahead and then cut across, and he goes, "Oh, is this what you're looking for?" He reached down in the water barehanded and pulled up a gold chain with a cross hanging on it, right in front of the guy's line that was hunting. He said, "I was so disgusted." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, people don't know. They just don't know." Don't be afraid, and this is another big one for me. Don't be afraid to talk to other detectorists. Just because it's not a competition. I don't hate other detectorists because they got there before I did, or they were smarter. They live closer. I have to travel an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes to get to the water from being west of, or actually I'm east of Tampa. So to get to St. Pete Clearwater, it takes me about an hour and 20 minutes to get there if I don't have any traffic issues. And when you're riding at 6:30 in the morning, it's usually pretty good. But walk up to these guys and introduce yourselves. I do it all the time. I think it cuts the tension. I think it just kind of settles things out. Like, which way you're going. Have you hunted this area yet? I'll go that way, to stay out of your way. And oftentimes it's much appreciated. And I will tell you this, Billy and I have gotten several new hunting partners out of chance meetings like this, guys that don't go to our club. And we've even made club members out of guys like that. Matter of fact, Jeff Monin and I talked to a fellow a couple of years back. His name is Tom Strelka, who was not a part of our club at the time. And Tom came and joined our club. He sits on my board of directors now with WSAS, and he is consistently treasure hunter of the year every year. The guy just he's got the shines.
It's a jewelry magnet.
He is a jewelry magnet. That guy finds the stuff. But I have to say to him, everybody, oh, he's so lucky. He's so lucky. My dad used to tell me, son, sitting in your lazy boy in the living room and having a drop in your lap, that's lucky. But when you're out there, beating the surf like he is, and he's out there, I think 6 days a week. So, he puts in the time. So he deserves to be lucky. He's earned his luck.
Yeah.
So,
Billy, I think Billy, we can hear Billy. He's having trouble getting his video. And
right.
So Billy, Rick's made some very good points. One of the things that, a lot of times you'll see 3 or 4 guys, 3-4 buddies out there in the water, and they're all heading the same way. Okay, Billy, I want you to expand a little bit on what not to do.
All right. Well, basically what I do and how I handle it, when you have a bunch of guys, a lot of times we'll have 7 guys go out. And what we'll do is, Rick will tell you, me and him are the 2 slowest guys ever to go out there. Mm-hmm. And I always allow the people to basically pick where they're going to go. You know what I'm saying? In other words, knee deep, waist deep, chest deep. And then I just work off of that, to be honest with you. And seems to work pretty good that way. So I will, again, in the water, like Rick was touching on, it's pretty hard to fill in any hole. But the one thing I do on the shallow water is I put the pile either on the back side or the front side, so the waves will help fill that back in real quick. So, but yeah, we see a lot of guys out there. I agree with Rick. Go over, talk to them if they want to, and just talk about, the hobby and all that with the WSAS club and all that.
Yeah, one thing for me, it's one of my pet peeves, is if you were hunting even if you're just hunting with a friend, okay, and you're both going the same way, and then one says slower than the other one. And all of a sudden you look up and, the other guy, he's right in your line.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a pet peeve of mine. That's something you need to be cognizant of.
Yes.
It's just not done. And guys, oh, well, I don't know. I didn't know I did it. Yeah, you did it. Because you look over your shoulder and you see the line the guy's working. The line that you were working.
Right.
That's exactly what me and Rick do, because I'm a little bit ahead of him. I'm always looking over my shoulder to make sure I'm not drifting into his zone. So you're right. But I do have guys that I hunt with that they get 50 yards ahead of me, and I just adjust to them, honestly.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to.
I agree.
You shouldn't have to. That's why it's called beach etiquette in my mind.
Right.
So what happens generally is where you were with a friend and you were having a good time, and it happens over and over again. Pretty soon you start watch to see which way they're going to go, and then you go the other way.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I
if
wanted
it
to touch on,
continually happens, then you just don't hunt with them anymore.
yeah, there's something I wanted to touch on. You asked Terry, and it was about, telling people what you find. Usually what I do, if somebody says, "Hey, have you found anything?" I go, "Have you lost anything?"
That's a good
And
one. That is
that
a
way
good one.
I'm covered.
Now we find a lot of sunglasses down here in Florida. Everybody comes and sometimes you get lucky. Billy's extremely lucky with finding really nice Ray-Bans and Maui Jims and all kind of really nice sunglasses. I think I found one pair of nice Ray-Bans that the lenses weren't all scratched up. I gave to my daughter, but you'll find the dime store sunglasses all the time too. Sometimes they're blue lens, green lens, red lens, whatever. Well, as you're in the water, I've got two bags. I've got a left bag that I wear. That's my garbage bag. And I have a right bag that I wear. That's where all my good stuff goes. But now I've got a pair of sunglasses. Well, what do I do? These glasses are in good shape. They're not high-end glasses. So what do I do with them? The last pair that I had, I walked by. It was one of those incidences where I had a small family in front of me in my line, and I had to walk around. And as I walked around, I walked up to the dad, and I held the glasses out, and I gave it to him because his wife and two daughters was there. I gave them to the father, and I said, "Here, I'll let you determine who would like to have a pair of sunglasses." And he was thrilled, and the girls giggled and squealed, and I turned around and one had them on for a minute. I turned around, looked again. The other one had them on for a minute. And it got those glasses out of my hands. I didn't want them anyway. They were valueless. They didn't have any real value. And if I put them in my waist bag, they were just going to get destroyed anyway. So so I'll do little things like that occasionally too to build up a little camaraderie as well.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do this giveaway, don't you think, Phil?
Yeah, we better because we're running out of time.
I know. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Everybody's entered. And you ready, Philip?
I'm ready. Let's get her going.
And here we go.
All righty.
Let's see who's going to be lucky. Oh, Jim McLaughlin. Jim McLaughlin, very good. You are the winner, and I'm going to get rid of this. And then I'm going to put the email, name, address, phone number, t-shirt size, please. treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. And we promise Phil will not forget.
Will not forget it. No.
The sooner you get it to us, the sooner I'll get it to him.
And we'll get it out for sure.
Copy, send it out on Saturday. Also, a book, do a little research on Terry Shannon's books and Fred Banke's books, and list in this email the book that you want from each one of them, because you want a book from Terry and you want a book from Fred, plus the swag pack with the coveted. Show them the coveted towel again, Phil. I mean, that's something that's coveted worldwide.
Yeah, so get one of those and a t-shirt. So put the t-shirt size in it. And wow, that hour went quick, Jeff, for sure.
Yeah, it sure did. So let's tell them again. I know Terry's been hunting with the Legend 2, and Fred's been hunting with the Legend 2, and you got a hot special on the Legend 2.
They'll either get the free waterproof headphones, still get the wireless, or we'll do $100 off. So if they want one of those, they can grab it. And the MindLab Manicore, that one is $14.99. We'll probably do the same special with that. So they can get a good deal. Just give me a call. I'll be here tomorrow morning, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Come and see us on Saturday in the shop, and Joe will be here, and we'll get you set up for sure.
That's right. And always remember, if Phil don't have it in stock, you don't need it.
So
813-237-1939.
Absolutely.
Can I add one thing real quick?
Go ahead.
I talked with Garrett Electronics today, and all the rumors flying around about Garrett and what's going on over there. I talked to a friend that's on the inside, and they said it's all BS. Don't listen to it. They're not getting rid of their hobby part of the metal detector business. It's business as usual, and all it is disgruntled employees where they did a little house cleaning with some people that were, I use the term dead wood, but you know how corporations get after a while. You got people overlapping, and some people lost their jobs that had been there for a long, long time, and they got on the Facebook and the web and just started blasting Garrett about it. They said it's too bad. It's sad that it occurred, but Garrett is strong and is not going anywhere.
Oh, well, awesome. Hopefully they'll come out with some new exciting products for sure.
Yep.
Well, with that, Jeff, I'm going to say thanks, guys. And
We'll
thanks,
be back
Jeff.
on June 29th.
Absolutely. We'll
Anytime.
be back for the June 29th show, and we're going to have some giveaways then, too. So
Yeah,
hopefully
we're going to give away a knock to score. We're going to give away a stainless steel scoop from CKG.
Sweet.
We're going to give away a 3-day pass to the gold mining camp from Sam and Jimmy Truckley, who manage that camp, and they're going to be with us that night too. So it's going to be a real good night. Terry will be here. Fred will be here. So you never know. They'll probably have talk about their new books, maybe give something else away, and we'll have the coveted Myers
Swag
it's
pack, for
used,
sure.
it's all used all over the world.
We'll have something else too, for sure.
Yeah.
With that, Jeff, I want to thank you. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you to Terry and Fred if they're in there, and also to the guy who looks kind of like a camera. So Billy,
Yeah,
thank
Billy,
you.
Billy.
For some reason, the picture looks like a camera with a line through it.
Well, he
And
does.
thank you, Josh, for helping
Billy's very
and-
photogenic.
And it's just an awesome day. Call me tomorrow if you need something.
All right. And remember, Phil don't have it in stock. You don't need it.
You don't need it for sure.
1939. Happy hunting. Dig deeper. We'll see you on June 29th.
We'll see you
Good
guys.
night, everybody.
Have a good one. Bye now.